1-acre homestead. And just kind of an unplanned, impromptu video here, hopefully real quick. I'm going to try not to get on my soapbox and be there too long. Folks, this is Marvel. She is originally from Grace Hollow Rabbitry. We picked her up over the weekend, and she's almost 2 years old, and we picked her up. She's a pedigreed New Zealand, a red, obviously. I don't know, you may not. The reason I'm telling you, because you may not can tell with the light. She has beautiful color. You know, she's going to be a nice brood doe. But we picked her up and we brought her home. And folks, I got to show you something. And I'm going to try to get her to cooperate with me here. And I'm going to have to turn her around. Here, come here, baby. Come here. No. Here, let me get your bottom. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. If you have to flip a rabbit over, it can help to grab a hold of the ears. Put your fingers like this and you can hold her head straight. Now folks, I don't know how well you can see this. Okay. See this swollen teat? Mammary gland, however you choose to tell it. This is a hard knot right here. Right here. Okay. This is mastitis, folks. See the swollen teat? See, there's still a little bit of milk. Now folks, one of the primary causes of this is losing a litter after once she started producing milk pretty heavy. Okay, I was told that her kits were like taken off of her a week to 2 weeks ago. Okay, I really think if it had been that long, I think, I'm not saying the owner intended anything shady. I'm just saying I think he was mistaken. I don't think it had been that long, because I really don't think she would still be milking. All I'm saying is right here's a big knot, and I can feel it. I couldn't see these knots. I felt them when I picked her up. Okay, and this could have just developed. Okay, but I was told it's been at least a week since she had kits on her. Okay, sometimes you just miss it. Okay, mistakes can be made. Yeah, relax, sweetheart. Relax, baby. Mistakes can be made, and you can miss things. Okay, rabbits are. Your own children can be sick at sometimes, and you can miss it, especially if they're not the type to complain when they feel bad. Okay, but this is something when you wean kits off of a mama. Number one, what I do is I try to do it gradually. If there's 6 or 8 kits or even more, I try to do them a couple or 3 at a time. Or I'll take half of them off and leave the smaller half. Like if there's 8, I'll take the 4 heaviest and wean them and leave the other 4 on. Maybe give them another few days or a week and take a couple more off, and the very smallest ones leave on. Now what happens is when I wean them and they all go into the grow out pen, they all end up weighing about the same. Okay, because the smaller ones will kind of catch up when they're the only ones and they're getting all the milk. Okay, this lets the doe dry up gradually. Okay, if she is in full milk mode and she's milking for 8 or 9, 10, maybe even more kits, and you just all of a sudden out of the blue yank all those kits out of her cage and put them somewhere else, that milk's still coming in and it's got nowhere to go. A doe, to my knowledge, I don't think, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I really think that I'm right here. The doe does not reabsorb this milk. It's okay, sweetie. Shh, calm down, calm down. Okay, I've showed you this. I'm gonna go ahead and let her flip over so she can settle down. Okay, now, that's mastitis. Again, her teats keep producing milk, maybe up to a week or more, if there's, or at least for a few days after the bunnies are weaned. Okay, that milk has nowhere to go if there's not a kit there that's going to remove it. Okay, and if it's just a little bit, they can deal. But when you pull 9 kits or 10 kits off of a doe at one time, and I think, the way I understand it, she had 8 or 9 that were weaned, and it's looking like they were probably all pulled at once because she has several. It's not just one, she has several. And I'm not real sure that one of these teats right here didn't have a little bit that had already, abscess that had already busted out. All I'm saying is, do it gradually. That milk has nowhere to go. It'll kind of sour right there in the mammary gland. If something happens and they lose, you can take and express that milk with your fingers out of that teat if it gets too much. Okay? Some people don't feel comfortable doing that. Do you feel comfortable having a rabbit with this problem? Do you feel comfortable knowing that your rabbit is in pain laying on the cage wire because these are sore and swollen? I don't. You know, there's a lot of places on animals that I'd prefer not to put my fingers, especially if it's pussy and yucky, but I don't want anything bad happening to these animals either. And here's something else. That's not the only reason they can get mastitis. Any type of bacterial infection, if it gets into their teats, it can set up an infection, okay? Even while you've got a litter of bunnies that are nursing on mama, okay? So here's something. You got to catch it early. The earlier you catch it, the faster you can treat it, the faster it'll heal, okay? What do? Well, you flip her over, just like I did. You check, okay? She's got bunnies 2 weeks old, 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old. Take her, flip her over, check. Make sure she's not getting swollen, okay? Make sure the bunnies are pretty much keeping that emptied out and everything, and that she's in good shape, okay? If you start to see a little swelling, you can do a little treatment before it gets to this point, okay? Now, my guess is this could have started before the kits were weaned, but I'm betting this happened and set in after because she got so gorged with milk and it soured and just had no place to go. Okay, so what do you do about mastitis? Well, first of all, I'm not telling you what to do to treat mastitis in your rabbit. I'm here telling you what I do. Okay, in this area, we do not have a veterinarian who is savvy in taking care of rabbits. So, unfortunately, when it comes to medical care, we are pretty much on our own. So we do what we can do ourselves, and if it's something we can't take care of ourselves, a lot of times we have to weigh the pros and cons. Is the animal suffering? And if so, we have to go ahead and put it down. I don't see that being the case. Okay, see these? Get those at your Tractor Supply. I buy these in a 24 count box. That's a 22 gauge needle. Okay, you can get them $7.50 for a 24 count box at Tractor Supply. I just bought 2 more boxes over the weekend. Keep those handy. DuraPen. Let me get my bottle. Just stick right there where you're at. DuraPen. Okay, this has been around a while. Okay, you can read that. DuraPen, and what it has is it has penicillin G, benzathine, and penicillin G procaine. Okay, and basically what that part of that is a kind of a painkiller or numbing agent, so that when you shoot it in, penicillin normally burns, but this stuff doesn't burn. I give rabbits an injection when it's necessary with this stuff. And just on a side note, just because you think your rabbit might not be feeling good today, don't whip out a needle and give your rabbit an injection of antibiotic. Be fairly certain that it needs antibiotic, okay? Because if you give antibiotics unnecessarily, it's just like when people and chickens and other things take antibiotics necessarily, they'll become immune to it. And so when you do really need it, it's not going to work effectively. Okay, what I do, I take this out of the penicillin bottle. I draw about 1/10 of a cc, and then I take and put that needle into distilled water, and I pull that up to just above a cc, or the one here, that's either a cc or a milliliter, they're the same thing. I pull it up to the 1 or just a little bit past, okay, with water. I shake that up. It thins it out a little bit. Okay, this is concentrated. This is for cattle. If you give a cc of this straight out of the bottle, you will probably overdose your rabbit and she could die. To the first little line, it's a white liquid coming out of the bottle. You'll have to use a fairly large gauge needle because this stuff is thick. But to about the first line is what I do. And I pull it. It's a bright white liquid. You can't miss the line. Again, then I pull the rest of it up to there with distilled water, probably a cc and a half. I shake it up and then I shoot all the air and everything out until it's to about a cc, and then I shoot that into her. Now she's only getting about 1/10 of a cc of the actual antibiotic. Okay, and that could even be a little bit light because she is just under 10 pounds. Okay, but how often does that need to be? Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a vet. I don't know. When we feel fairly comfortable that and usually these knots, when you kill that infection, it's going to come to the surface. It's going to abscess and it's going to drain. You might have to rake that out. You might have to scrape some of that out because it's going to open up and it's going to drain. It's going to be pussy, nasty. Be some stuff in there that'll kind of look like, I don't know, some kind of I don't know. It can be the consistency of a dry peanut butter even. Rabbit's pus is not real liquidy. The point is, you get it all cleaned out. Then after that, basically, you just keep those abscesses clean, and I keep triple antibiotic ointment on those once they've abscessed, you know, to try to help keep any infection from getting back in there. Sanitize the floor of their cage. You know, their belly, when they sit up, their belly has to touch that bottom of that cage, so it's a good idea to sanitize that. But I'm not going to show you how to give the rabbit. I've already given her. Okay, the video was at kind of an afterthought, and I had already given the shot to her. Okay, but what I do right up here, just behind the shoulders, you can feel the shoulder blades right here, just behind the shoulders. Okay, what I do is I'll take and I'll kind of lift up the skin. Okay, you want to just put this through the skin. Take the needle, put it through the skin. Okay, and pull that up, so when you get through the skin, you're not going to hit the shoulder bone, you're not going to hit any bones, and you're not going to get it into any muscle tissue. What you want to do, you want to just shoot this underneath the skin. Okay, a lot of people will tell you, and on a lot of animals, you can take and just squirt this stuff, this right here, out of a syringe into their mouth. Don't do that to a rabbit. Rabbits have very, very sensitive digestive systems, okay? And it's very dependent upon proper bacteria in their digestive system to break down their food, because they have a constant rate of metabolism, okay? It's not just, you know, that's why you'll see them eat off and on just almost constantly during the day. If you have hay and stuff out for them, they don't just eat 3 meals a day and then nothing in between. They kind of eat. Their eating system and their pooping system is kind of in a continual state of movement. And if you give an antibiotic through the mouth, it's going to end up in the gut, and it's going to kill those good bacteria that are helping to digest its food. And you're probably going to cause GI stasis. GI stasis in rabbits, you can look it up. It's very painful for rabbits, and they can die from it. Because when you kill the good bacteria in their gut, you're also making it easy for bad bacteria to move in there and set in and take the place of the good bacteria. And that's just going to make a bad situation even worse. A lot of you are squeamish about giving your rabbit a shot. I'm not telling you to give your rabbit a shot. I'm telling you we have to. Or it's just not going to happen. And I can't let that. I'm not happy about giving an animal a shot. But I'm even less happy about this animal knowing that that hurts. I didn't count them, but she has multiple teats underneath here that are, see, she don't like me putting my hand under there. See her push against me? See there? See? Bless her heart, I'll leave her alone. But she's got several under there. Folks, I kind of got in a tizzy because this upsets me. A, She's been here since Saturday. Right?
Wednesday.
Huh?
Wednesday.
She's been here, I'm sorry, this is Saturday. No, this is Friday. She's been here since Wednesday. I'm mad at ourselves, because this should have been caught sooner. I actually brought her in to weigh her. Believe it or not, she's gained since Monday, or I'm sorry, since Wednesday when we picked her up. She weighed 9 pounds 8 ounces. She had been way down in weight because she had just had a big litter pulled off of her, like I explained earlier. Just so you know, I said that she originated from Grace Hollow's rabbitry. That's not where I got her. Someone else, she actually lived on another farm, and I didn't actually pick her up from Grace Hollow rabbitry, but Grace Hollow is the original breeder of this young lady. Not that it matters. I don't see any wrongdoing here. Sometimes folks just don't know any better, and sometimes people just don't handle and touch their animals like we do. Even here, as much as we're picking them up and carrying them around and playing with them and what have you, it still took us 2 days to realize this was a problem. Okay, and that could be because it's just popped up this morning or overnight. It could have been it wasn't a problem because I didn't handle her yesterday, but we handled her a lot Wednesday. And I think I would have noticed, now that I think about it, I think I would have noticed that. So, in fact, this could be something that just popped up. But the point is if you're not looking for it, you're not going to find it. Okay, I flipped her over to do what I call a vet check, which is just a general wellness check. Okay, I was looking in her ears, which I knew from the other day were okay because I'd already done that. But since I brought her in to weigh her, I flipped her over. Well, when I went to flip her over, I felt the swollen little lumps in there, and but you do again, disclaimer. You give your rabbit a shot of penicillin and it dies, don't call me. Okay, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not. I'm telling you we have to, because our veterinarian here basically specializes. He takes care of dogs and cats, and other than that, it's basically large farm animals. Okay, he's busy pulling calves and foals and everything else around here. Okay, he doesn't even, he's not what we call a rabbit savvy veterinarian. So we're pretty much on our own. Now, if I need something such as a medication that I can't get over the counter, he's pretty good about, if I can prove to him that I have good basis on a diagnosis that I need a medication for, he is really good in working with us and helping us get the medication if he doesn't carry it, or providing a prescription for that medication so we can order it or something like that. But usually the Durapen is the only thing antibiotic wise really that I trust with rabbits, and that's only if you give it to them through a needle right under the skin like that. And right here just behind, or just between the shoulder blades, just make sure you don't poke those. And I was in a bit of a tizzy, folks. I grabbed the camera. I didn't really have anything planned to say. I hope something that I've said here has made sense to you. If you have any questions, or if I've confused you, by all means ask questions and I'll try to clarify. I was just so upset. I'm like, this could happen. People that don't know any better, this can happen. I said, we need to just grab the camera real quick and put word out about word out there about how we ran across this and what we're doing about it. And we will, folks, we will. Just stay tuned, and we will keep you updated on her condition. The Durapen, okay? Again, I'm not a veterinarian, but somebody's going to want to know how often. Well, easy short answer is as often as it takes. Okay, some things you have to take. The little needles are like, they're less than 50 cents a piece per dose. The antibiotic is cheap. I'm going to keep giving it to her. until I'm satisfied that she's passed and that she is well on the road to recovery. Now, she might have abscesses that are still healing over, and I'll just play that by ear. It may or may not be a situation where I feel she needs to keep receiving it, but more than likely, I'm going to give it to her once a week. This is a long-acting penicillin, by the way. I can give it to her, and she's good. She don't need another one for a week. Okay. That's one. See, it's got a slow. Basically, it's a fast-acting and a slow-acting. I guess that's the two different kinds of penicillin. I guess because it's two different types of penicillin, and they're gonna. And anyway, she's good. She's good with this type of penicillin, and that's the only type I would use on a rabbit. But she's good for a week. And so this is Friday. So next Friday, we'll whip out a brand new one. And anyway, folks, I'm going on and on. I'm just, I don't really feel like there's any wrongdoing here, but really more than anything, I'm mad at myself because, again, this should have been caught Wednesday. And I'm not going to say that it would have stopped us from making this purchase, okay? Because the guy said, if you have any problems, bring her back. I guarantee my rabbits. He's a good guy. So I could take her back right now. But no, we want the young lady. We just want her to get well. That's all. But he probably just didn't know, or maybe that hadn't set in yet. He's a good guy. Not mad at him, not angry. Angry with me because if I'm second guessing myself is what I'm doing. I'm thinking that could have been there Wednesday and I didn't pick up on it. Okay, and she could have had, there's 2 days already, she could have received her medication and she could have been improving already had I picked up on it Wednesday. That's kind of, I guess, more or less what I'm in a tizzy about, because she'll be okay. And she should retain full use of those teats. You know, they shouldn't produce milk in the future when she gets ready to have some more babies. But we're going to get her healed up, and we're going to put some weight on her. The original breeder told me a couple days ago that in her prime she weighed about 11 pounds. So we want to get her up well over 10 pounds at least, I think, before we try to let her have another litter of kits. Because the litter she just had, it definitely did a number on her. Okay, and we'd like to have some good kits out of her, but that's not more important than her health at this point. We'll get her healthy, and we'll get her all fattened up, and then we'll put her back to work when she's ready. So, folks, I guess I'm gonna cut off this rant now. I'm sorry again if it doesn't make sense, or if I've confused you. If you have questions, send me an email, hillbillyhomesteading@outlook.com, or you can send me a YouTube message. A lot of times I don't get those as quick as I would an email, but if you're not in a big hurry, you can send it that way. I do eventually get them. All right, folks, y'all have a great day. God bless.